He was active
We
yesterday
race.
to tell me that he wasn't racing.
What the hell are those emotes, Jake? Fall
Right.
Guys joke
Okay,
emotes. Okay,
I
let's
do
go.
left full track. Oh shit! Oh
Okay.
shit! Oh shit!
I'll keep eyes on Kano during quali. My quali commentary is never serious.
I mean, do you wanna look? I just zoomed out the hell of Le Mans and I cannot even read the fucking nicknames. Neither see a car.
You can do, I mean, whatever you want really. I've got action cam covered, so feel free to do what you think would look best. You can kind of do a broader camera. You can do a. The issue with Le Mans is that there's a lot of dead space in the middle. The track doesn't cross over itself a lot, so because it's obviously a big track. Yeah, do whatever you want. Honestly, you can do a more zoomed out version of the action cam. Maybe I'm on 140, so you could do 200 and try and flick around, make the names still readable, because I think that's really the important part.
Yeah.
I'll get myself warmed up into quali mode. La 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 la.
Okay. So nicknames are readable. I can see. Okay, I did the perfect. And okay, who
Perfect.
is on pole yet?
Pole.
Nuno.
Nuno's on pole. Nah. What a surprise.
What the fuck did you? What the fuck did?
No.
Reto. on
Okay,
pole.
Reto's been really good recently. Right, we'll see how the boys do. I'll do the quali rundown. Oh, Lev, after I do the quali rundown, do you want to add your own thoughts on that? Because we could definitely do that before we cut back to the lobby. I don't mind, honestly.
Why not?
If you have a look at the quali, see if there's any like ties that I miss. Because I'm just going to read it down like I do in Sunday League Virtual. And I don't really look at the lap times.
Yeah, like I did in last race when.
Personal best.
Yeah, alright.
Congratulations.
Commentator
Okay.
mode now. Alright, silence in the booth. 1 and... Rito takes pole by 0.2 of a second. Nuno alongside him on the front row in the sister car. We've got a tie for third. Danny, Hinandi and Nomskar all setting a 31.52 just behind them. Antti in 6th place. You're a 7th place for him. A brilliant qualifying session there. He's in a Nordic sandwich. Pamusha's right behind him. Sobel takes 9th place with Gamer rounding out the top 10. Goose qualifies in 11th place. We've got Rozim in 12th, Kado behind in 13th, a solid lap for him on his debut. Also making debuts are Yoshel and Kubo qualifying 15th and 17th, Grandy and Suicide as well, rounding out the grid in 14th and 16th. Lev, your thoughts on that quali session?
Well, Reto was an obvious pick for pole sitter there, but a tie for third is something which we didn't really see that much, especially between the three drivers. And then we can see that gaps are going pretty wide, and maybe it means some kind of skill gap there between Class A and Class B. And impressive performance by Kado on his debut, qualifying 13th and less than a second behind Reto.
Absolutely. Brilliant from them. We've got, I noticed, yeah, you're right, I saw a little gap back there, 14th down to 15th, with that bottom three a little bit off, but yeah, it should be a very entertaining race. We've got an interesting top 10, Sobel and Gamer, the old Dutch foes, former LSA teammates for your team, Lev. They're lining up on only the 5th row for them, so how do you think they're going to get on in the race? Can they make up some positions?
Considering their skill and experience, they should make some places up. Considering that Sobel and Gamer are not yet. I'm in qualifying results yet.
Sorry to put you off. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure they will show a great performance in the race, considering all the challenges they've got now.
Fantastic, we're nearly ready to go. We're ready up, everyone.
Okay. Rain.
Rain on.
Done. Yeah, rain on, 10% as usual. And same lap only should be... Yeah?
Yeah.
All good. All good.
We discussed having it not like that, but I think it's probably best in the end that we did do it like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Right, we'll have to have a look. Could Danny do the Le Mans triple? Says Nomskar. We'll have a look here. Oh man, I can't wait to hit him the starting line. Been waiting so long since my last proper commentary gig all the way back in Hell Valley. 5 lights ahead of the drivers. We're underway here in Le Mans. Rito leading them away from pole. Nuno in second. Danny making a move into third place, and Andy still ahead of him. He started ahead on the grid. They go a little bit wide. Nomskar gets pushed off. He loses position to Urist. Now up into 5th place behind Antti and Hernandi. This is the second race running where he's done amazingly at the start and really got himself up into those high positions. He's looking to get a toe on these front pack. Now Gamer with a move to the inside of Danny. Antti looking to avoid collisions into the chicanes, and they will feed their way through there, and they just go off in the background, and it looks like everyone's made it through safely on the first lap. Lev.
Yeah, I've seen that Kyoshel dropped back quite a lot, but now Grandy and Kato make a significant mistake going to turn 1, and now Grandy is running last. This is probably his but the worst performance in the race, but never mind, Kato just goes into the grass, and the Kato now is in last place.
Grandy down in 16th for a potential Class A driver. He's really shown his worth at the top of the midfield, and it's not going to be looking like a great result for him today at all. 45 laps around Le Mans here. Massive collision in the background. There are the LSA drivers both going off. Sobelli falls down to 9th place, and Andy down to 7th. They were battling so high up, but just on the exit of that chicane that we've seen take so many lives over the years in Sunday League. Little voice crack there, apologies for that. Notoriously big lag rocket into turn 1 in the feed into that sector. Obviously back in the day. And yeah, so much potential for crashing, for chaos. Urist, I saw make a little mistake in the background. I think just a lap or so ago, he's made his way back up into 5th and is still nearly in the slipstream train of the leaders. What I'm wondering is Rito. I think he might have had a little bit of lag there or something. He's dropped from fighting Nuno for the race lead to a long shot off that pack, and for the second time in a row at Le Mans in Sunday League, Nuno is running away with it. Lev.
Yeah, so we could see that crash of both LSAs, and even though Sobel got a few the penalty on the move for Pimushas, he is now running 7th, being chased by Nomska, the 29 car. And meanwhile, Reto and Urist are finding out, and Urist again fighting for his best position, which he has done in last race, being 5th place. But it was quite a lag rocket between Reto and Urist, and now Urist is in P4. P5, sorry.
Yeah, P5, P4, they're just fighting on the end of it there. Fighting for the podium positions, obviously early doors here. But for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th spot, Gamer, Antti and Danny, that was before Antti just gives Danny a little wave onto the grass there. Pushes him off, and now it's a 2-way battle for 2nd place. Both drivers will be very happy to pick up that position. Antti, only 1 podium, I think, or 2 podiums in his last, 25, 27 races, so he's not had the best of luck over the last couple seasons, and he'd love to get a podium in round 3 here. I think that would really do him a whole world of confidence near the start of the season, just to really get off on the right foot. Gamer, meanwhile, is a championship contender. Nuno, who leads this race, has stated his intention, or I suppose lack thereof, of competing in the rest of the season. He says this might be his final race. He's stepping in for old team FGR for another time, just kind of waiting for them to sign a full-time driver. As I say that, we've got Gamer, we've got Rito, we've got Danimator all into the pit lane, just the one box between the drivers today. Lev, how do you think that will affect the pit strategies?
It will, well, pit strategy in the pit stop, it won't quite affect it, but the pit stop itself will be quite messy because mechanics will have to run over to each car while not pushing each other out. And considering this, they have to bring the tires with them too. So it will be quite a mess in the pits.
It really will. We've got Urist in 3rd place. Jesus Christ, he's looking like a Class A driver now. 3rd place for him. He just bumps into the back of Antti there. Sobel gets a little bump from Nomskar. Managed to just push himself ahead there on the exit. Squeezes him a little bit. Urist has to give way, lose the position, go down to 7th place. Through go Antti, Danny. You've got Gamer v Rito in a battle here. Rito taking that one lap undercut. I believe he's got that slightly older set of soft compound tyres. In the background, we have Danimator on the mediums, we have Anti on the softs. We'll do a little flick through the rest of the grid. Sobel ahead of Eurus, they're in 6th and 7th respectively. Just going down, we've got in 8th place Rozim, 9th place goes to Nomskar, and 10th place Mushas. 11th is Grandis, he's made his way back up already. It's a very solid piece of driving from him there. Goose in 12th, solid position to settle in. Then we've got Hanandi down at 14th. 14th place for the driver. He's just gone backwards since that early collision, and he's now behind Caddo, making his Sunday League debut for VEO, the team. I don't think they're the championship leaders anymore. That title's gone to RMC at the moment, but certainly fighting in and amongst the championship leaders, right at the top of the Constructors' Championship. A solid finish today would help them out very much so. We've got Yoshel in, I think that's 16th place. Kubo, a little bit adrift at the back of the pack. Nuno, a little bit adrift at the front of the pack. Rito in 2nd place. Gamer still in his slipstream. Anything else you've noticed on your cams, Lev?
No, not really much. Nothing is happening. Like so far, we've got only Hnandi train between Sivas and never mind. Kado just went to the grass, and now there is no. And now there is no Hnandi train because now Hnandi is in 14th or 15th, 13th position. And we're gonna have a rain.
We're gonna have a rain. We've got the 3 debutants right at the back of the grid. Obviously, makes sense with, you know, inexperience in the sport that they're not quite up there and competing in this race, but you know, time will coach them, time will get them through. This is very interesting. Which drivers will be pitting? Gamer, Rito, Anti, Danny, don't pit. Sobel, Noms, Eurus, Rozim, Pimu do pit. Everyone from, I believe that was 6th place and downwards, has gone into box. Noms going for the wets. That's the bang on call, because the wets are going to really come to effect. We've got much more rain on the way, 5 rain clouds coming, and even the front runners, even Nuno in 1st place is still out there on his softs. He just comes into the pit lane now. Anti and Rito scrapping in the background. Rito really losing positions, all these front 3 losing positions. Where can Sobel come through on this? Because he really wasn't that far detached from this leading pack at all. He comes round through, crosses the start finish line, comes up to turn 1. Will he get out ahead? No, just behind Anti and Gamer. They have the advantage, however, currently of being on the wet weather tyres. Now, Sobel's inters, will they last the test of time? With how wet the track's getting, it doesn't look like it. Unless it starts drying up pretty much right now, it won't be intermediate conditions anymore. Also on the inters, we have Eurus down in 8th and Kubo in 17th, so maybe that early pit, bit of a blessing in disguise. Sorry, not so much of a blessing in disguise, but only really for Nomsky, who has made the most of that early pit stop. He's on his wet. He has been a little bit adrift of this pack. He just fell back early on, just trying to claw his way back up. Eurus shot in the foot a little bit through that intermediate selection, but you know, those are the kind of perks and losses of staying out that extra lap, I suppose. Rozim battling him now. He doesn't give Rozim a lot of space on the inside. He's going to have to give Pimu some space on the outside, and he does. Pimu makes his way up into 8th place. Eurus going back for the move. They run quite wide there. Eurus backs out into that next right-hander, next left-hander. They know that going side-by-side through there has pretty catastrophic consequences normally. Little lag spike there, we're fine to go on. Lev, handing over to you. Anything else to comment on for the time being?
Sobel train, I guess, because Sobel had a train for himself of him Danimating the Anti and Reto being behind, but now he is being behind Danimator, who is running in podium positions. And rain is not stopping yet. I think it would be better if race would be red flag, because like rain is going too much.
Are we going to get safety car Lev back?
I wish.
I wish. Oh, it's drying up. Our prayers have been answered. Yay! Anti makes his way past Rito there. Nom's looking to get the move in. Rito loses 2 positions down that straight. He's going to try and gain this one back. Can he? No, just goes a little bit squirrely through that chicane. Loses position to Nom's guy. He's now down in 7th place. Not doing a whole heap of favours for his championship contention. His rival, Gamer. It's great to have an actual title fight, isn't it, for once? It's early doors, obviously only 2 rounds gone, but these drivers are pretty locked tight together at the top of the championship. His rival, Gamer, 2nd place. That's going to earn you a whole load more points than getting down in 7th. I think that's about 10, maybe more points advantage finishing that high up. Nuno running away with it. That is kind of his trademark move at Le Mans. He does really enjoy that. He's coming up to lap Caddo and Suicide running in, let me just check on the Delta screen, 14th and 15th place. He's coming in to reserve for FGR. Oh, big crash in the background, cut myself off there. Nomskar, Anti and Rito all through that chicane, all a massive crash in that first sector. I mean, I love that first sector. Wouldn't like to traverse it as a racer in the rain for exactly that kind of reason. They all had a massive slam into the wall there. Christ. I think we've got another little train in the background. Is that the backpack? Yes, it is. Oh no, it's Caddo and Suicide and Nuno in between them on another lap. But yeah, Nuno filling in for FGR today. For Rams, as you can see just up there on the pit entry, a lovely little sign made by Goose, who drives past it now. Missing Rams. We really hope he's back racing with us as soon as he can. Going through some struggles in real life at the moment, but obviously we hope he can be back on track, back in action, because we love him as a racer. Fantastic driver, fantastic member of the community. He got some great finishes. Season 7 was a fantastic season for him. 5th place, I believe, in Zandvoort, France karting. Great races for him in a very high Drivers' Championship position. Won the Constructors' Championship for his team too. The rain's ending. Everyone is into the pit box apart from the front 4. Very interesting there. Nomskar taking amusement at something that's happened in the box there. Lev, did you catch what that was?
I don't think so, but I guess he was blocked.
Oh, Rito spamming on the keyboard. I think they all were blocked. Noms ran wide at the exit there of turn 2, I believe it is. This front pack coming to pit now. Gamer and Danny just in the box. Anti entering the pits. Nuno already having left it. Anti the last driver to throw away those wet weather tyres, apart from Yoshel down in 16th, who's just stopping in now for RMC. You get points for every position, at least this season. So, you know, any position you take off somebody will matter. Anti asking for Rito to slipstream him. That's a wise move. They're fighting over 5th and 6th at the moment, the usual dwelling place of the NTH driver. Rito putting VO up into that position. A very lucky acquisition for that team. They never finished higher than 7th after last season. They already have a win this season, so incredible job done by him and the team there to secure that. Right, we've got Nuno first, Gamer second. Not a lot going on, but we just love watching Sunday League racing, don't we, Lev?
Yeah, that's for sure, and I can see the Retro train having Anti and Pemushas joining in soon, who was in 8th place, and now can see Grandy from last place in first lap to the 8th place already, with Nomskar losing quite a much of time being blocked in the pits.
That's unbelievable from Grandy, all the way up from last position. He's now up into 8th, just adrift from that that kind of front pack, like you said. Yeah, the Rito train's really interesting. So Pimu, who wasn't initially in this battle, Anti goes for the move there. So they're going to be any severe collision. Rito defends that position. Anti just gives it back. There's no point going side by side into that corner, or indeed a lot of the corners on this track. Pimu wasn't originally in that battle. I don't think he had the pace early on to be stuck to that large train of cars battling just outside the podium positions. He is now into it. Obviously some scuffs up near the front. Lev, you spotted anything there?
No, I don't think so, but Goose asked for slipstream since Hanandi overtook him for that 12th place.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Goose and Hanandi. So Hanandi showing the kind of the lesser side of, and it's really, really interesting, fascinating as Goose runs wide there, loses the slipstream, but Hanandi on the podium in the first race. That was his second career podium. On the podium in the first race, while Grandy, I believe, was in 6th place. Goose now in for some fresh new tyres. Also in is Rozim, comes out right behind Hanandi. He's going to look to really make a move on him here. How quickly can he get through his fellow racer? Yeah, it's really interesting. The first race, Hanandi obviously on the podium, fantastic for him. P3, so nearly P2 as well. Grandy down in 6th, and now it's a bit of a swap of roles in this race you get as well. With Grandy now being able to recover from last place, and Hanandi, when he goes not to last place, but down the grid a bit, not able to recover. UR2D running a very quiet race, but he pits ahead of Fernandi. He's still kind of very much in that mid-pack. We'll keep an eye on the rest of the top 10 for you. Rosine currently running in 10th position, Nomskar in 9th. They're both on fresh softs. Grandy's on very old softs, but he does have a healthy 7-second gap. He'll pit this lap, so we'll just follow to see where he comes out. He won't pit this lap, I'm stupid. Sobel and Pimu, on the other hand, do. Anti, I don't believe, has he? No, he hasn't. He is ahead of Gamer currently, who has pitted. Anti just lets him through. Very wise move indeed. Good racing. Danny yet to pit, so Anti is basically directly racing Danny. He's not. This Gamer is not his race. Gamer is a pit stop ahead, and obviously unforeseeing any exceptional circumstances, not really in his fight. Danny in now. Anti also coming in, and yeah, just that kind of bit ahead. Gamer now quite a long way ahead of Danny. Looks like a few seconds, but Anti's fallen off the back there a bit. Sobel out ahead of him, as is Pamusha's. That undercut really working. Rito looking very feisty for a move here. We go 3 wide, coming onto the main straight. Can they do anything here? Anti loses position to Rito and to Pamusha's. Runs onto the grass there. Very interesting indeed. Lev.
Well, now we have seen another retro. Okay, never mind. We don't have a retro train anymore because Primushis and the Anti-Mason ruined it pretty much. They gone to the grass into the turns of after Mulsan, and now we have no trains going on really. Well, if you wanna tell, we have a Okay, fine, we didn't have a Sivas train, but now we have a Nomskar train between Nomskar, Grandi and Sivast. Who is left, but do I look like I care?
Lev, our train expert in the studio today, constantly got his eye on them. We'll come back to him later for some more trains. Suicide runs a little bit wide there. Lev, can I ask, because you're the GT3 organizer, did you intentionally schedule GT3 Le Mans for the same weekend as the actual French Grand Prix?
Well, probably because,
probably it's a yes or no answer, man.
No, yes, because I wanna help our French guys earning a hell out of the money.
They really need it, honestly.
And they need money because hosting any race event means you have money. You receive money.
Yeah.
So it was a perfect move for them to have a lot of money.
Brilliant. Everyone's pretty spaced out at the moment. Pimu still chasing down his old friend Anti. He's got into his slipstream now. Is he looking to make a move? He's on the mediums. Anti on same age soft. So Pimu's will just carry him a couple laps later into the stint. Grandi and Nomskar in the background battling. This is a battle we've not really seen in Sunday League yet, but they're looking pretty even on pace here today. Grandi, a really impressive recovery from the back of the grid, and Nomskar using his base pace despite zero practice, or so he claims, for this race, just using that to push himself into a solid finish. That's your kind of Class A pack. We've got Urist. The big debate is Urist Class A. Well, he's coming up to lap his teammate Suicide now. I believe there was teammates in, I have to get this right, Season 8, Round 5? Not sure. Suicide having raced previously for LYR as a reserve, being my point, and these old CL veterans racing together in SL. We'll have a look at the non-veteran drivers. That's a veteran. We've got Goose over there in 13th, Cato 14th. He's a non-veteran. He's doing remarkably well for his first race. I believe this might be the first time we've ever had 2 French drivers on the grid at the same time. Cato from French Polynesia, but flies the French flag in the results on the podium when he does get one. It's not looking like that today. He's got his teammate just up a lap ahead of him, right ahead of him on the track as well. Rito in 4th place. It looks like we're going to get a little bit of a battle for 2nd, but let me run down the rest of the drivers just before we see that. We've got Kubo and Yoshil running in the last 2, but pretty close to each other. In fairness, Kubo looking to have the upper hand now with his much fresher hards. He was a little bit of drift of Yoshil, but I think they're having a good battle at the back, so it's really nice to see new racers just doing that. Right, Gamer I think Danny has actually triggered an undercut here. He has. Very interesting indeed. He's taken the mediums. Those last him the 9 laps to the end of the race. Oh, terrible for him, because we've got heavy rain on the way, and Rito and Gamer licking their lips. Not Gamer, actually. He's pitted very recently for the mediums. Rito, sorry, really licking his lips here, because he was right at the end of that soft stint, inevitably in that lap, surely. We'll have a look at these other drivers. Antti also right at the end of his stint. Noms, pretty new stint. Pimu, pretty new stint, so he won't like that. He won't like that either. So is Grandi, Rosine, sort of neither here nor there. Eurus, pretty new. Hernandi, pretty new. And we've got everyone now onto the wet weather tyres. That's really changed the complexion at the front of the field. We'll quickly go to that. I think we saw Kubo going off in the background, but Rito promoted up into 3rd place. Danny and Gamer nearly getting very unlucky with the rain. Danny did, Gamer did, but didn't lose position. Still in 2nd place, although a long shout off Nuno. Lev, anything to say at this moment?
Well, we're gonna have clouds now, which means that rain will end, but track won't dry out that fast if it stays cloudy, so wets are the best choice for now.
We'll have a very short, soft stint, a sprint race if you will, right to the end of the race. As soon as the track dries out, it will dry out in time, because we do have about 6.5 laps left on the leader's clock. And we've got the sun coming as well, so it will just get drier and drier. But yeah, Nuno really saving up pit stop there, as did Antti's also pit stop down on the others, but obviously this far into the race, a lot of that down to strategy, hard stints versus soft stints, etc. Love that we've got viable strategy in this race. You can really do whatever you want, and it will always just be screwed over by rain. So, congrats. Rito in 3rd place. Little gaps here, but not a super spread out 2nd to 4th positions. A little mistake from someone brings somebody else right into that slipstream, right into that battling range. And Antti looking to pick up any scraps he can. Antti and Sobel, teammates last season. Sobel sort of loaned out to NTH in a way. Only spent 1 season there, and he's back now for his 7th season at LSA, something incredible like that for the historic red team. Yeah, we should have all the drivers coming in now. Nuno nearly a full lap ahead. I mean, not quite, it's kind of half a lap ahead. Gamer stays out, very interesting. Rito stays out, Danny stays in. This is his gamble, this is his move to try and pull that undercut, get out on the slicks, which are always going to be faster tyres, and get out while the track has just got a little bit of standing water on it, and try and pull yourself through. We'll follow on board with Danny while the track is still wet, see if he makes any mistakes, so he keeps it very nice and tidy. Out onto the straight, the track's dry. Gamer and Rito coming through the 3rd sector now. This will be crucial for them. This could give Danny 2nd place in this race. He got screwed over by the rain when it came. Can he use the end of the rain to his strategic advantage? Gamer and Rito now into the pits. I could definitely see him jumping Rito in the stops here and undercut onto slits. Could definitely work. It certainly has. He pulls himself ahead of Rito and just behind Gamer, and those positions now swapped. We had a little gap from Gamer to Rito to Danny. Now it's Gamer to Danny to Rito. Very interesting there. Gamer coming up to, I think that's double lap Yoshul, who's running in 16th place now, back ahead of Kuba. A fantastic strategy battle between the rookies today. Really nice to see them racing each other. Yoshul, it looks like on our telemetry, not actually too far off Suicide. Is that right? Yeah, he's not too far behind Suicide, having to take an extra stop. Maybe that's due to the rain. Lev, any thoughts?
So we've got, well, now it's gonna be 2 laps more of the race in action, and Nuno just updated his fastest lap record. Previously it was on tie with Sobel of 31.42, now it's 31.23, so he pretty much has the big helmet thing, like, how it was called? Never mind, like when you have the fast lap led all the laps and pole...
the Grand Slam.
Yeah, the Grand Slam. So now Nuno has it in the bag with starting our last lap.
We certainly are. And there was a little battle in the background you'll see on my screen there. Just Eurus and Hernandi, they were fighting for that final points place. Will come down to them in a second. But we just have to appreciate in what he said could be his final ever Sunday League race. He might not be coming back from the sabbatical, but for his team, the team he loves, the teams he's raced for so many seasons. He's come back today and he has absolutely dominated. Nuno wins the French Grand Prix by a margin of over 20 seconds. If this was Challenger League, we'd have to get him banned. Gamer in second place. Brilliant result for him in the championship race. Nuno with the win and the fastest lap. Gamer second place for him. Danny in third place. That undercut when the rain just left, the track dried up, just stole that podium off Rito. Arguably should have been Danny's before that. Got a little unlucky with the rain himself. A close battle in the background. It looks like Sobel did get ahead of Antti in the closing laps there. He finishes 5th. Antti in 6th place. Nomskar in 7th. A solid result for a man with no practice. Grandy, just a little bit back from him. He got ahead of Pamushis in the end, who falls down to 9th place, right ahead of Razim in 10th. Just outside the top 10 positions were Hernandi in 11th and Urist in 12th. A great fight there in the closing stages. Goose a bit back from them in 13th for FGR. Caddo 14th. An incredibly solid debut for the rookie drivers. Suicide in 15th, picking up the points for LYR. We've got Yoshel in 16th for RMC and Kubo last on the grid. A great effort from our other rookie drivers as well today. What a brilliant race. Lev, any closing thoughts from you?
Well, yeah, Nuno on his probably last race ever. Actually, he almost updated the record for the biggest gap between first place and the second place, which is yet held by K, and it was around 24 seconds or something about it. So Nuno could break another K's record today, but looks like he didn't, which is pretty funny. Nuno was beating all the K's records throughout his career, and that was one of his main goals.
Well, talking of K, who knows? The rumour on the block has it that the legend who hasn't raced in the last 3 seasons might be coming back to Sunday League later this season. But for now, it's been a brilliant French Grand Prix. I thoroughly hope you've enjoyed it. I love commentating it. I'll be out for the next few weeks and you'll be in the trusty hands of my co-man Levioso. He'll take you through all the racing action up to round 6 and 7 when I'll return. A lovely race. I hope you've enjoyed racing in it if you did, watching it if you didn't, or both. Goodbye for now.